Hey guys, hope you are all having a great day. Today we had the highly anticipated quarterly earnings call from GameStop, which we will break down completely for you guys. We also had some really good developments coming from AMC which I want to get to as well. I want to also go over some scary figures shared to use by the Treasury Department which goes to show just how much money the top 1% managed to evade in taxes this year. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen also warned congressional leaders that the United States is on its way to default on its debt by October this year unless they raise the debt ceiling. We have quite a whole bunch of stuff to go over, so let's not waste any more time. Before we get started, let me quickly disclose and state that I am not a financial analyst or advisor, and that all contents discussed in this video are provided as opinions. All efforts are placed to better understand the nature of the current market in anticipation of the greatest squeeze in financial history. Everything presented as evidence I collect, and all opinions are based on research, experience and knowledge on the matter. Shout out to all my Patreons and one-time donors, whose contributions continue to carry this channel forward. Thank you so much to all that have taken a moment and the burden of throwing some love my way. It means a great deal for the longevity of the channel. Let's now get to the good stuff and begin with GameStop's quarterly earnings overview. Our beloved company strengthened their balance sheet, generating net sales increasing over 25%, or $1.183 billion, compared to the $942 million in the previous year's second quarter, showing significant improvement. It ended the period with cash and restricted cash of $1.78 billion. Importantly, GameStop ended the period with no long-term debt, other than the $47.5 million low-interest loan associated with the French government's pandemic response. The company announced they invested in long-term growth initiatives that include expanding their fulfillment network capabilities and technology, while also adding talent across the organization. It entered into a lease of a new 530,000 square foot fulfillment center in Reno, Nevada, positioning the company's fulfillment network to span both coasts of the continental United States. They also announced that they entered into a lease of a new customer care center in Pembroke Pines, Florida, and started building out American-based customer care operations. Great news all over, with their sheets representing improvement and growth. Looking a bit deeper into the numbers, GameStop posted that they lost $61.6 million, or 85 cents per share, compared to the loss of $111.3 million, or $1.71 per share that they posted a year ago. On an adjusted basis, GameStop lost 76 cents per share overall. These are great numbers that show this company is on a serious comeback. As is common, we experience a massive drop on stock price following the positive earnings report. I literally called this out. This was coming along, and anyone who's been trading GameStop since early this year knows that upon bullish developments, you can expect a massive drop in price. Do not get paper handy now and start worrying about the daily over this dip. Buy the dip and then buy some more. Not all the glory was exclusive to GameStop, as AMC made headlines today after they announced that for the first time in the company's history, they will be advertising theaters on television. AMC said they would spend more than $25 million on a multimedia campaign, featuring Academy Award winner Nicole Kidman. AMC's response to all the problems the company has endured is something to admire. Their CEO Adam Aron stated, and I quote, "As we have said repeatedly of late, thanks to the billions of dollars we have raised this year, AMC is strong, and it is time for AMC to play offense again. We know that studios typically promote their own films." Adam Aron stated that AMC will no longer depend on what has always worked before, noting that recent events have pushed the industry into uncharted waters. With AMC having massive success with the release of Shang-Chi, which made box office records, while also having the advantage of raising a ton of funds, seeking new cinema leases and invested in fresh payment options like Bitcoin, these new steps they are taking are just more evidence that this company is determined to not only come back, but to be bigger than it has ever been before. Great time to be an AMC investor as well, even if the daily today wasn't as green as many had hoped. Nothing in the world like the rich evading taxes, capitalizing on the gains and socializing the losses. This is the reality of the world in which we live in, as it has once again been demonstrated directly by the Department of Treasury. The tax gap, the difference between taxes that are owed and collected, totaled around $600 billion annually, which means that approximately $7 trillion of lost tax revenue will be accrued over the next decade. As the Treasury Department noted themselves, the loss of revenue is absolutely insane, it being equal to 3% of the entire gross domestic product number, or all the income taxes paid by the lowest earning 90% of taxpayers. I am so done and sick and tired of experts and government officials and weird wannabe influencers on social media telling me that this is how the game is played and how things should be. This is not good at all, as it means that over $163 billion were lost in taxes, or evaded carefully by the 1% once again, who continually push taxes to be solely collected from the middle class and the lower class. Trillions of dollars worth of economic growth and stability are lost because the rich want to keep buying everything and writing it off as business expenses, or outright evading it through shell companies in islands across the world. Absolute appalling news that should have each and every one of you disgusted. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen warned congressional leaders today that the United States is on track to default on the national debt by October if the White House and Congress are unable to raise the debt limit. She stated, and I quote, "Once all available measures and cash on hand are fully exhausted, the United States of America would be unable to meet its obligations for the first time in history." Given this uncertainty, the Treasury Department is not able to provide a specific estimate of how long the extraordinary measures will last. However, based on our best and most recent information, the most likely outcome is that cash and extraordinary measures will be exhausted during the month of October. Now, as I said before, it is very unlikely that the debt limit will not be raised, because not doing so will result in America defaulting in its debt. I made a very long and detailed explanation of what this means on a previous video, but to sum things up for you guys, once we default on our debt, everything in America will collapse. Government workers will be unpaid, credit will fall, American dollar valuation will drop, commerce will cease, stock markets will crash all across the globe, which will 100% assure the squeeze. However, the fallout will be terrible, and bouncing up from this will be a terrible thing to experience. Innumerable amounts of people will be homeless, unemployed, and we could see serious levels of crisis happening all across the world. Don't get me wrong, this doesn't mean the world will break apart as we know it, but things will keep getting from bad to worse. As such, it is unlikely the United States will vote in favor of allowing this to happen, and as such I expect a last-ditch vote to pass the debt ceiling. However, this goes to show just how fragile things are. I continue to hoard my meme stock shares, because they are the best hedge for an impending crash that will come, regardless if it happens, though this or inflation or an NFT or whatever else brings it about. Let's now talk about today. The Fed reported that reverse repo operations for today resulted in over $1.115 trillion, representing a substantial increase over yesterday's operations. AMC's dark pool transactions accounted for 61% of the total volume, while GameStop dark pool transactions accounted for 46% of the total volume today. According to Fidelity data, buy order flow for AMC was bigger than the sell order flow, with GameStop's buy order flow being more than twice as big as the sell order flow. Now, let us finish up with a recap of today's performance. AMC had a bearish day, losing a little under 1% today. The stock traded relatively neutral during pre-market. It had pretty nice run after the market opened all the way to 49.40. The stock was unable to break this resistance, and was quickly met with a short attack that had it trading identical with GameStop. It fell back down to the lower band of VWAP at 45.75. It then started gaining momentum upwards, eventually reaching $48. The stock then started to slowly decline before having another huge run to $49 close the closing of normal trading hours. AMC then got attacked again, and closed at 47.40, slightly below the VWAP. As for tomorrow, nothing has really changed from yesterday. We have support at 45.73 and then at 44.80. Biggest support wall is at 44, however. Resistance-wise, we have 47.95 as our first wall, and then the bigger one at 49.40, which got tested today. It's hard to predict where we go from here, but if we fall back down to 42, that's a good place to start buying the dip. GameStop traded pretty neutral, ending the day at less than 1% overall in losses. The stock opened to small and insignificant surge that brought it to 206.72. GME then got hit the same way other meme stocks did and fell back down to the lower band of VWAP at 190.85. It then started gaining through the rest of the day, reaching 203.80 at one point. GameStop closed at 198.80, above the VWAP. Funny enough, with the quarterly earnings taking place at after hours, we got to see a huge attack on GameStop drive the price down all the way to 177. I was waiting for this, managing to grab only 4 shares with money that I should not have spent. About to have to make some excuse to my wife's boyfriend when I show up without his allowance. As for tomorrow, GameStop is definitely weakened by this attack. I expect we will retest 190 or higher, but momentum will be on the short side as they have broken through some serious support walls. This is good for anyone looking to buy some extra GameStop shares. We have seen GME continually dipping this week. I have no real expectations for tomorrow, though I do think we might rebound from this but not to the highs we were before. We have support at 184 and 177 so far, with big resistance at 190 and 200. Stay bullish, buy the dip and don't freak out. And that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you for sticking to the end if you made it this far. Today's big question is, do you think life requires a purpose? Do let me know your thought on the comments below. I look forward to reading them. If you want to help this channel, I have provided links which will be in the description for donations or even a monthly pledge of whatever amount you want. These donations do go a long way in helping me be able to pump videos out. Remember to follow me on Twitter if you haven't already, and I hope to see you guys on the next one tomorrow, though it will be a short video. I want to thank you guys for watching my morning videos. I am seeing that some people are really digging this new little series we have ongoing right now. I will see you guys tomorrow morning on another very important video. Have fun. Enjoy the rest of your day, stay cool and collected and to the moon.